Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Will Smith, Academy Award winner, has been banned from attending any Oscar ceremonies for the next 10 years, effectively, immediately today. And I got a whole lot of stuff to say about that. And it might not be well received, or it might be. You never know. But I stand by what I say, and that's that. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay. Hey everyone, I'm back. So I want to focus on Academy Award winner Will Smith. And yes, we're going to call him that because he fairly earned that Oscar. And I'm going to say that this situation with the slap heard around the world should not affect his box office status as a megastar. And we Will Smith fans, we going to make sure that he is not going to be affected by this. We're going to support his music, his movies, his shows, his projects, regardless, okay? So, it was announced around about 3 o'clock that Will Smith was banned by the Academy for 10 years of attending the Oscar ceremony. So I'm going to read it from the New York Post perspective because they get to the point straight through. So it reads, Will Smith banned from Oscars for 10 years, but can he keep award? The Oscars just delivered more than a slap on the wrist to Will Smith. The Academy's Board of Governors has banned this year's Best Actor winner from attending the award ceremony for the next decade after he assaulted comedian Chris Rock at the 2022 ceremony. The Academy's 54-member board convened for a reportedly contentious Zoom meeting on Friday morning to discuss possible sanctions against the actor, who will, as it turns out, be allowed to keep his trophy. In a subsequent statement released Friday afternoon, the board stated it has decided for a period of 10 years from April 8th, 2022, Mr. Smith shall not be permitted to attend any Academy events or programs in person or virtually, including but not limited to the Academy Awards. The final ruling means Smith is still eligible to be nominated for and win Oscars if his work merits them. However, in the official statement, Board President David Rubin described Smith's behavior as unacceptable and harmful. He also admitted that the Academy did not adequately address the situation during the live telecast. Rubin continued, we want to express our deep gratitude to Mr. Rock for maintaining his composure under extraordinary circumstances. We also want to thank our hosts, nominees, presenters, and winners for their poise and grace during our telecast. This action we are taking today in response to Will Smith's behavior is a step toward a larger goal of protecting the safety of our performers and guests and restoring trust in the Academy. I accept and respect the Academy's decision, Smith 53 told Page 6 in a statement on Friday, nearly 2 weeks after he made international headlines for storming the stage at the March 27th ceremony and slapping Rock across the face over a joke the funny man made about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. The King Richard star went on to win the Academy Award for Best Actor about 40 minutes after the on-stage assault, leading to much public outcry and debate over whether he should be able to retain the honor. The Academy's Board of Governors is made up of high-powered actors, directors, producers, and casting directors. Members include Laura Dern, Rita Wilson, Steven Spielberg, Ava DuVernay, and Whoopi Goldberg. Goldberg has previously spoken out about Smith's actions on her talk show, The View, saying she expected there to be consequences for his behavior. However, she was adamant that the Academy would not take away the star's newly won Oscar. Friday's decision comes after Smith resigned from the Academy earlier this month, meaning he can no longer vote on future Oscars. While announcing his resignation, Smith said he would fully accept any and all consequences for his conduct imposed by the Board of Governors. The list of those I have hurt is long and includes Chris, his family, many of his dear friends and loved ones, all those in attendance, and the global audience at home, the actor said at the time. The Board of Governors was initially supposed to convene on April 18th to discuss possible sanctions against Smith. However, the meeting date was pushed forward by more than a week. Smith Zoomed with Academy Awards CEO Dawn Hudson and Rubin last Tuesday, according to movie industry insider Matthew Bellamy. The star is said to apologize to the honchos to implicitly try to smooth things over in advance of the board meeting on his accountability. Meanwhile, a recent report in The Sun claims board members have been bitterly divided over whether to confiscate Smith's Best Actor Oscar. The decision was made early this week to expedite the hearing in the wake of Will's resignation, a source told the paper. And during that call, it was clear that the decision would go to the wire. The source said that some board members deemed it hypocritical to rescind Smith's statuette, given that convicted sexual predator Harvey Weinstein and fugitive child rapist Roman Polanski still haven't been stripped. To date, the Academy has only revoked one Oscar. Young Americans had its 1969 Best Documentary accolade retracted after the board discovered that the film had come out in 1967. However, the on-air assault, which played out live on television in front of tens of millions of viewers, deeply embarrassed the Academy. The organization claimed it asked Smith to leave the ceremony after the assault, but he refused. However, TMZ sources subsequently alleged that the Academy lied about that claim, saying a consensus was never actually reached because the officials were split about how to handle the situation. Sources with direct knowledge who were present at the show told TMZ that the show producer, Will Packer, told Smith he could stay. During the Oscar ceremony on March 27, Smith walked onto the stage and struck Rock across the face after the funny man made a joke about the actor's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Rock compares Pinkett Smith, who suffers from alopecia and shaved her head last summer, to Demi Moore's bald character, G.I. Jane, prompting a slap from Will. "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth," Smith then shouted twice after returning to his seat. A visibly stunned Rock continued his presentation before leaving the stage. The following week, the comedian performed a show in Boston where he admitted he was still processing what happened to him at the Oscars. Although he publicly apologized to Rock in a statement, Smith has reportedly failed to contact the comedian personally to say sorry for the assault. Now, you heard what I read. Now I'm going to say what I have to say. And before I go any further, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and also basically share it on multiple platforms because I think this is a really important conversation that we need to have. I agree that Will Smith should have to be brought up on consequences because he didn't have to go up on stage, okay? He could have just shouted back and said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Don't talk about my wife." And I'm going to explain to you why. And I've said this in many different commentaries that I've uploaded last week about this. I am an avid watcher of the Oscars. I've watched the Oscars consistently since 2000. The roasting only happens to those who win during the ceremony or those who are nominated but their names have yet to be called. Or after the names are called but they don't win, they can still be roasted. So the roasting is done to those who are being up for an award. Okay? It is never done towards those who are a guest, particularly to a spouse. So let's say Denzel was nominated. He was nominated for an Oscar that same night as Will Smith. And I liked how Denzel stood by Will. And it was like, finally, another person, black and man, and who's a male, is going to win tonight. Because everybody knew Will was going to win. But why didn't Chris Rock or any of the hosts go in on Denzel's wife? Why did they target Jada Pinkett? Now, Regina King made a comment about Jada Pinkett and the entanglement. But the difference is, one, it was a joke that was written. You can tell. Because they included Will in the joke as well. Okay? Now, I disagree with them putting Jada in that as well. But secondly, Regina and Jada are friends. And they worked on the movie Girls Trip together, produced by Will Packer. So Will Packer, who was producing this past year's Oscar ceremony, is a friend of Jada Pinkett Smith. He's also has you could say, an acquaintanceship with Will Smith. That is why Will Packer allowed Will Smith to stay at the ceremony, because it was his wife's movie. Believe it or not, the movie that starred his wife, because she was the lead in Girls Trip, if you've seen it, who helped Girls Trip become bankable at the box office. And it also kicked off Tiffany Haddish's movie career. Okay? That was the movie that put her in the focus, all right? So it basically it added credibility to Will Packer after the Think Like a Man series, okay? So Will Packer was not going to kick Will Smith to the curb, because had he done that, Jada would have been like, well, I'm not just leaving the Oscars, but I'm going to withdraw from acting in your film, okay? So that was a scripted joke. The joke that Chris Rock said was off the cuff, meaning that it wasn't part of the Academy Award writers, comedic writers. They did not write that, which meant Chris didn't have to say what he said, which means that all of this could have been prevented if he would have just focused on Will. He could have joked about Will. If Will don't win, Jada gonna go off. Okay? Jada gonna go off. All right? Jada gonna leave and divorce him. Now, that would have probably stunned also, but at least it wouldn't have been like, I'm going at you physically. I'm going after your appearance. G.I. Jane 2, Jada's G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. That her being bald was not by choice. She's losing her hair. Yes, it's growing back, but not enough to where it's going to be full again. Jada more than likely will never have long hair again. Be able to wear her hair long. And believe it or not, it can affect roles that she'll get. Wearing wigs is not the best experience that black actors in Hollywood have. Have you seen the roots on a lot of those wigs? It's disgusting. It's horrible. You know? And then also she's 50. But she's not old enough to play a grandmother. You understand? So this is the period that, in irony, black actresses make they act in a lot of movie roles, because they usually play moms, they usually play grandmothers. But Jada is not old enough in terms of her aesthetic to play a grandmother. But Jada, nonetheless, wants to get back out there and do her thing. But when you have a person like Chris Rock, who has put in digs about Jada after she and Will gave you the blessing to host the award ceremony in 2016 that did not have any black people nominated for Oscars, And then you go up there and you make comments like, Jada is picketing the Oscars. That's like me picketing Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. That's the sly stuff he was doing. And he jokes, and I'm going to say this. I love Chris Rock as a comedian. But I have had to come to the decision that he does jokes about black people for the enjoyment of whites. And Will Smith broke down. Now, I'm going to talk about this. I believe that the slap was not a real personal dig at Chris. I believe that he had a breakdown. Not a nervous breakdown, but he had a breakdown because he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that that Chris Rock was going to open the floodgates and have other people on that stage, like Wanda Sykes, who his friend, join up and talk about Will and Jada. Regina doing it, that was cool because they're friends. And that was a joke written and approved by Will Packer. The reason why he let Will stay, because that was not a joke. That was approved by him. It wasn't, because when you're producing that show, everything that those people say, all the jokes, they're pre-approved. They're seen. He would not have allowed that G.I. Jane joke to come up. He would not have. Because now you're joking about somebody who didn't choose to do that. Now, Erykah Badu, when she shaved her head back in 2001, that was my choice. So a joke about Erykah shaving her head at that time, that's different because she chose to do that. That was her choice. But with a person who has a condition, you don't joke about anybody's health condition at all. And let me tell you something. If I knew about that in 2021, he had to have known about that because it was all over the press. So I don't want to hear about him not knowing that Jada didn't have that. But here's the thing. Chris left. Now, I'm going to say something. If Chris, when all this comes out, because it's going to come out, if Chris tells people, because he has to admit, because they say that he's going to file a lawsuit against Will Smith. If it comes out, and I bet you it will, that he told that joke, everyone's going to look at him differently. That's the reason why he's not talking about Will Smith, which is smart. But at the same time, he's laying low because many people want to know, did you have that joke written or did you talk about that on your own? Because if you talked about it on your own, that's a problem, because now it looks like you were purposely coming for that woman. Because my thing is, why didn't you come for Jada? For Will. He was a nominee. All this could have been prevented. And I'm not condoning Will, because I think that in this situation, he should be fine because he was supposed to get up on that stage. But I do think that 10 years is excessive. I think that 5 years is fair. But then again, here's the problem. Woody Allen can still go to the Oscars. And so can Mel Gibson. And what Mel Gibson said about an ethnic group of people? Honey, that's one person that should be banned for life. Oh, and Alec Baldwin had the audacity to talk. And I like Alec Baldwin too as an actor. But Alec, the gun that you had in your hand shot off and the bullet went to a woman, which caused her to expire. You are the very last person that should be talking. But yet and still, nobody went after him. And the only reason why y'all checked Jim Carrey after he went after after Will Smith, was because y'all brought up what he did to Alicia Silverstone. And that's only because of the Me Too movement. Okay? Because if it wasn't for that, y'all wouldn't even brought that up. But nobody checked Alec Baldwin. We got somebody who's unrelated to the Academy, but Ezra King, who's on video whipping and choking women. But they're not outraged by that. But y'all more outraged about the slap than Ezra King. I'll take it back. Not Ezra King. Ezra Miller. I apologize. Ezra Miller. I hope I didn't say that. Ezra Miller doing that. And that's a problem. So I do think the ban is fair in terms of, him not going to the Academy Awards. I do believe that it should be no more than 5 years, but 10 years is excessive. But he could still be nominated and win Oscars. And the best part of it, they're not going to take that award away from him. And that's the one thing I said. As long as they don't take that award from him, then hey, it is what it is. But see, here's the thing. A lot of us fans are not going to allow. We're not going to let this, come off because we're tired of being the butt of everyone's jokes. And we're supporting him regardless. Because I've been a fan of his going back to 1988. Okay? When he wasn't making movies or TV shows, when he was the Fresh Prince. Me and my grandmother, we loved him. So regardless of everything, I'm still rocking. I'm still rocking with Will Smith. Okay? And he couldn't take it. And that slap was bigger than just what was said. That was a slap of, when will you stop being the court jester? When will you stop disrespecting people, black people who have supported you? When will you stop it? When will you stop? And he couldn't take it no more. And he slapped also because of Jada. We got to keep it real too. Of Jada deflating his masculinity. Because Jada was the center of this. But Jada also has contributed a huge part to this. And I'm going to talk about this over the weekend. Because I think this is very, 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 very big. So with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm signing off. I will be back with another upload shortly that's unrelated to the Will Smith Oscars debacle. I'm going to talk about a person that I think that needs to be focused on, particularly from the black community perspective. I will explain why. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. All right. Thank you for listening to this commentary. It's a beautiful day outside. Enjoy it, and I'll get back to you real soon. Later. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, comment, and share as well. Later.